I have realized that maybe that gets a little, maybe instead of doing this, if we're doing it, if you're trying to tell your peers to be quiet, maybe we should do like peace and quiet. Y'all ever seen that? Can we change it to this? So then we won't think that y'all are just asking questions. That's so, yeah, that's bad. All right. Now that we have your attention. All right, so we were talking about Laudamuste, yeah? And so to begin with, somebody tell me, just read out, what is the date of the Baroque period? All right, Edwin? So 1600, 1750, why do you say that like a question? Like you're repeating it. All right, who can tell me the classical period? All right? 1750 to 1830, and what important person lived in the classical period? Everybody say his name. Mozart, right. It is named for his full name, because we like to say it, is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. That's so nice hearing y'all say that. All right, so what period was the Romantic period? 1830 to 1920. All right, so if we're talking about that first period, which is the Baroque period, which I want to point out, it was not the first period of music. There were plenty of music periods before that, but that's the first one that we're talking about. All right, tell me some characteristics of the Baroque period. If you study this PowerPoint, you should remember some of these characteristics. All right, tell me one characteristic.
The music was often had different melodies at the same time.
Okay, so there were different melodies going on at the same time. Okay, what's another one? Driving rhythms. Do we remember what it means to have driving rhythms?
It means always going, it's like hard and it keeps going.
All right, so it's like a steady rhythm, and if one rhythm stops, then another rhythm just keeps going. All right, there's some other ones. What are some other characteristics of this? What about, is there anything dealing with ornamentation? Do you remember? Okay, Catherine? Okay, so instrumentation, we don't see like a lot of woodwind. So going off of instruments, what other kind of instruments did we see a lot of? Harp. We saw a harpsichord. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. We saw a harpsichord. What other kind of instruments were really used during this time? Was the piano really used in the Baroque period?
No.
Not yet. So we had the harpsichord, and we said driving rhythm, and we said two or more independent melodies that often occur at the same time. And so ornamentation, there was a lot of trills and ornamentation happening. Y'all, please just say focus. And I like that one because then we could just do that right in front of them. We don't have to raise our whole hand. And it just kind of makes me happy to see it. All right. So trills and ornamentation, that means that you're just making it fancy. You're just making things fancy with it. Brass, percussion, and harpsichord were the things the instruments that were really implemented during that time. So brass and like horns, and percussion is what? Like drums. Okay, so we've talked about the Baroque period. Somebody tell me some things about the classical period. Classical period. We talked a lot about the classical period. Think about it. Take about like 5 seconds to think. What can I tell Miss Lacey about the classical period? Okay. What's something about the classical period? Oh. Okay, so this is whenever the piano really came. Like, people really started using the piano. Okay, what was another thing about the classical period?
George Washington was president.
Are you looking at the PowerPoint right now?
Cheater.
I don't know, cheater or using her resources. But let's really try. Let's really try to use it from our brain. But you're right. We'll come back to that. Okay. So we have. What about the kind of lines that we heard in classical music? Anything? All right. What about What about a member of the orchestra? All right, let's do some review. All right, so, yeah. Thank you. So characteristics of the classical period. Somebody read that first one. All right, what's the first line say? So beautiful melodic lines. Remember, that means that if there's a line, you can tell what it is, and then everything else, all the harmonies underneath it, we're all built off of that beautiful harmonic line. And so the next part, light miracle. And whenever we sing our piece in a second, I want you to think, is this light miracle? What did Mozart do to this piece to make this nice and light whenever we sing it? What does it mean whenever I said hummable? Catherine? Yeah, so you can leave after hearing that piece of music and you can hum it. Alright, so we also had a new instrument. We had the piano. What was the part of the orchestra that was added?
Woodwinds.
Yeah, Edwin. Yeah. It was a woodwind, alright? So, just so we can think about light and lyrical, will y'all just go ahead and hum? Will you just hum the very first part of your song? You have that part memorized, right? So just think it, shh. Here we go. And then they also have those woodwinds and the flute, which is part of the woodwind family, right? They had that playing along with that. And so we're going to come back to instruments in a second. But first, tell me something. What was happening in America during this time? All right, happening in America? The Revolutionary War. All right, so if that was happening in America, what made up the Revolutionary War?
Boston Tea Party.
Boston Tea Party. All right. So we have the Boston Tea Party. We have the formation of the 13 colonies, right? Who was serving as president? George Washington. George Washington. And so this was all happening whenever America was breaking ties with who? The British. And so, tell me, what's that picture of in the corner?
The American Revolution Party.
It's of the American, yeah, it's of the Boston Tea Party.
I was still right.
All right. Going back to instrumentation. All right. Thank you so much for this. Going back to instrumentation, so yeah, we talked about how the piano became the standard instrument, and it often replaced the harpsichord. So somebody tell me, I know it says it up there, but what's the biggest difference between the piano and the harpsichord?
The harpsichord would be like plucking strings, and so that would be a string instrument. But the piano is percussion because there were these little hammers that would hit the string.
Yeah, so if I open up this piano right now, you would see these little tiny hammers.
Do it.
And I'm not going to do it right now because look at all the stuff on top of it. But there's these little tiny felt-covered hammers that just hit the little strings, and that's why it's percussive. What's another really big difference between the harpsichord and the piano? Joshua?
The piano has pedals, the harpsichord doesn't.
Okay, and what do those pedals do?
It makes the the note longer, like long.
So it can sustain the note. Can it do something? What does it do to? We have a soft pedal. What else do the pedals do? So it changes the dynamics because we can play it soft and we can play it loud. All right.
And another difference is the
What?
Another difference is the name.
Oh, Cooper pointed out that another difference between the two instruments is they have different names. That's very true. That's very true. So if you were just to look at this though, do you see like a really big difference?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. Mine's different is the pedals, but it's like thank you. Thank you. We're losing some people, okay? Alright. Okay, so another thing about the instruments. Alright, we had the expansion of the orchestra. We were talking about, say it together, what family came into the orchestra during the time?
Woodwinds.
Well, can we say it together?
Woodwinds.
Woodwinds, that's right. Alright, so we're looking at this fancy chart that helps us remember what's in each of these. What's in each of these families. What is one of these instruments that sometimes we forget is in the woodwinds family? What's something that Edmund, what's something that Cal said it. The saxophone is sometimes hard to remember that it's in the woodwinds family. Because why? Do we know why this is in the woodwinds family? Why is it in the woodwinds family?
It has a reed and it's very like.
I'm so sorry. Can everybody just take your hands and put them in the sky, and then just go, and then take your elbows and go, and then take your shoulders and go, and then take your knees and go, and then take your mouth and go. All right. Thank you. All right. If you've already done this, that means you know what you're talking about. Okay, what were you saying?
There's a reed at like the tip of like the mouthpiece where you blow it.
So it's all based off of right here. There's a mouthpiece that has a reed on it. If there's a reed that you breathe into that you use to make the noise, the sound, that means that it's a woodwind instrument. You can remember that because reeds often are like little pieces of wood. Yeah? And then if you look at those instruments up there, they have these metal pieces that you blow into, and they're very different looking. Alright? So there's somebody, we talked about Mozart. Somebody read me his dates.
Oh.
Okay? Somebody read me his dates. Alex, what's his dates? 1756, 1791. Tell me some facts about Mr. Mozart. Gavin. He was a child prodigy, which means what? He could learn things at a really young age. William? He was in the classical period. All right, Cal? He had perfect pitch at 3 years old. All right, Nathan?
At 18, he composed 34 symphonies, 16 quartets, 5 operas, and 100 other.
I think you're looking at your PowerPoint.
Using his resources.
All right,
resources.
All right,
Not cheating yet.
if we're already using our resources, could you remember something else? Did Mozart actually have 22 kids?
No, he had like
No, Mozart didn't have 22 kids. All right. All right, Alex, do you have another fact?
Wasn't it like 39 when he died or something?
You have to do the math. Yeah, it was in the 30s. All right, so give me a thumbs up if we got it. We had child prodigy. We said 3 years old, perfect pitch.
No.
Yes, we
All right, 5 years old, harpsichord player. No, we didn't say that one. But well, now we have them all up there.
No, there's one more.
There's one more. What is it?
His name was Wolfgang Mozart. That's a fact.
Oh, thank you. That is a fact. His whole name was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. That's true. All right.
So smart.
Did we get? Did we get that he began composing at 6 years old? No. All right, but the other ones we did. Okay, 7 years old, could read at sight, harmonize melodies on first hearing, improvise variations on any tune. What does it mean to improvise variations? So Somebody from this side of the room, what does it mean, improvised variations? Yeah, so we had the example of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and then Miss Jones played it all nice. And very. Alright? No. And, no. Alright, somebody tell me, which one of these was he born in? Salzburg. Alright, he was born in what? Salzburg. And he lived the rest of his life where? Vienna. Vienna, and what country is this in? Austria, not Australia. Alright. Pretty pictures. Okay, now this part. We haven't talked a lot about this part. Okay? We haven't talked a lot about this part. So, but it's in your PowerPoint, so I'm just going to explain it a little bit more right now. Alright, so this piece was taken from Mozart's, our La Dame Tape that we were singing was taken from Mozart's original Great Mass, which is it's called Great Mass in C minor. And so we have these different parts of the Mass. How many different parts of the Mass are there? Let's count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
How many are there? 6. There's 6. And they're pronounced Kyrie, not Kyrie like the basketball players. Kyrie. Alright, and we have Gloria. And then we have Credo, Sanctus, Benedictus, and Agnus Dei. So which of those parts is Laudamus Te from? Gloria. I'm so graciously put it there, put it in bold, so you can remember. Alright. Yes, Edwin? Alright, so what is the last period that we talked about?
The
romantic period. Alright, what's a characteristic of the romantic period? The songs make you feel emotion. Alright, what's another one? Alex?
The Civil War?
Alright, Catherine. I'm sorry, will somebody in the back row tell me what Catherine just said? Somebody in the back row, will you tell me what Catherine just said? You'll get a free 100 if you can tell me exactly what Catherine just said. Yes, y'all? Check yourself right now. We were talking about this. Is this the appropriate time to talk? So everybody, take your little key. With this.
Wait, that means we can't answer my question.
If I call on you, then you can answer the question. Okay? So, what about the dynamics? Somebody raise your hand and tell me about the dynamics of the romantic period. Joshua?
The orchestra, the Latin, and the classical.
What about the dynamics? Alright, so big characteristics. What Rachel said, she said, oh, that's not even what Rachel said.
Rachel, there's
Gotcha, I mean, gotcha. The songs make you feel emotion. The songs make you feel emotion. These pieces, a lot of them last longer than classical pieces. And there's really big contrasts in dynamics and mood changes than classical. Do y'all remember whenever we were listening to that piece of music and y'all had your eyes closed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what happened in that piece of music? Yeah, it was nice. It was nice and tranquil, and all of a sudden it got really loud. All right. Okay, so now you have a review. You have a review of this. So whenever you take your, you should be prepared. Yes, Catherine.
Romantic period music is kind of like our class. Sometimes we're quiet and good, and then after a few minutes, we're really loud.
That's actually really good. She said romantic period is like our class because sometimes we're really good and we're nicely quiet, and all of a sudden we're really loud. All right. Prepare. I'll open up to this. Open up to this. You have 5 seconds. 5. 3, 2, 1. And it's great. Carmen Summer's not here. All right, remember. What are things that we want to see during this part? Okay. What do we want to see, Carlos? We want to see good posture. Another thing we want to see. All vowels. Another thing we want to see. Summer?
We want to see their hands.
We want to see your hands, so we don't want to see you do this. We want to see your hands. All right. Caleb?
I want to see everybody coming.
All right. Yeah. So we want to see your face. We want to see nice tall. We want to see beautiful vowels and nice confident hands. Okay. So everybody right now. Looking on your piece of paper. Okay. Nice, beautiful candle. This is wonderful practice and informative. Okay.
Borrow Brianna Haney, have her come to the main office if you don't mind.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
There we have a Circle, guys. That first group, everybody else can Alright, if you're part of that first group, alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, we're looking at what are ways that we can be a good audience member?
Be quiet.
Yeah, we can be quiet, we can be respectful, and not talk. And you can audiate what they're saying in your head to practice yourself. Alright? So, I'm just going to sit right here. And actually, first I'm going to give you a pitch. Okay? Nice, beautiful hand. All right.